Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host Sree Iyer. Updates on Adani. Adani Green has withdrawn its $500 million bond issue, and this follows what happened in the court of Eastern District of New York, U.S. Attorney Eastern District of New York Court on the alleged indictment about Adani Enterprises, Adani Group, I should say. I shouldn't even say Adani Group. It's one company of Adani which has been indicted of trying to bribe Indian officials to get a contract. So this is the original thing, and now you are beginning to see some fallout from that. First of all, Adani Green has withdrawn its $500 billion bond offering. Why would Adani want to do that? Well, let's get into that part in just one little, in just a little bit. But I want to tell you what happens when a company, a conglomerate, experiences rapid growth. These kinds of attacks are normal. Adani should wear it with pride, and I'm sure he's going to come out of all this stuff. But don't shoot the messenger. Don't tell me that, why are you glee? Why are you saying? Why I'm happy is that finally somewhere all these shenanigans that happen in Indian power market are beginning to come out. Only when you go outside of India that it is difficult to cover up some of these crimes. It is my contention that the money that was put in to the American company of Adani, it's my contention that it could be funny money. And that means that somebody is trying to round trip. That means somebody is trying to launder. Anyway, these are all my surmises, connecting the dots. Whatever it is, first thing is, why would Adani want to cancel the $500 million bond offering? See, two things come up for me. If you sell a bond, by the way, it was subscribed 3 times. That means if somebody had wanted to buy 300 bonds, they would have only got 100 because it was subscribed 300 times, 300%. That is typical for the bond market. That means it's a good, healthy market. And why then is Adani withdrawing from that? So let's take a quick look at this slide deck. Please like this video because there's a lot of stuff that I want to share here. So I'm sorry, it's not 500, it's 600 million bond issue after the indictment. It was oversubscribed, like I said, 3 times. And they have charged Gautam Adani, his nephew Sagar Adani, and others with paying a 250 million bribe to Indian officials for favorable solar contracts. Criminal and civil charges were filed by the US Department of Justice and the Securities and Exchange Commission in the Eastern District of New York. See, if you list a company in the United States, you have to follow the rules of the United States. In fact, sometimes depending on where the company is incorporated, that particular state where it is incorporated, those rules also apply. So because the trade is happening in New York, that's why the Eastern District of New York is involved in this. Next one, please. One more offering of similar kind was postponed due to investor pushback on pricing. That means that the investor thought it was too expensive. In 2023, Adani Enterprises scrapped a 20,000 crore follow-on public offer after allegations of stock manipulation and accounting fraud by Hindenburg Research. In fact, this is what Ramesh Swamy had hinted yesterday, that we should take a look and see if there is similarity between what happened that time, the follow-on public offering, and what happened in this particular case. It was fully subscribed, but it was cancelled and the money was returned back to all the people who wanted to invest in it. Now, because of the Hindenburg report, the Adani Group suffered a loss of $150 billion market value, but then it made it back up after that. Similarly, in this case also, I think there was a fair amount of stock fall. So I think I made one mistake, not 500 billion B as in boy, but 600 million M as in million. Okay, I stand corrected. My editor corrected me that it's not billion. The conglomerate denied all allegations on Hindenburg and continues to dispute the recent US charger. Now, let's not worry about Hindenburg. For now, let us see what is happening today in this moment. Next slide, please. Moody's has termed the bribery charges against Adani and other senior group officials as credit negative. That means they are going to give, probably they're going to bring it down, the Adani Group's ratings, probably by a notch. The cancellation of the bond issue comes as the Adani Group has been taking significant steps to manage its debt amidst scrutiny. A fast-moving company is going to run up a lot of debt, and it is going to leverage the stock of one group and then use that money to go and grow somewhere else. This is something that is par for the course. And I'm going to recite to you a story about your favorite Donald Trump and what happened to him 30, 40 years ago. So just stay tuned for that one. As we finish this one, then I'll tell you what happened in case of Trump. The ratings agency cited concerns over the governance practice and access to capital to meet liquidity requirements. Moody's is also notorious of getting things wrong. For example, many of the in 2008 crisis, many of the A+ credit rating were found to be all basically nonsense, like the derivatives, financial derivatives that they certified. So don't take any one thing at face value. We have to wait for this to play out to see what happens. The accusations, which also include obstruction of justice, have led to a significant decline in its stock. No surprise there. The obstruction of justice comes from the fact that some individuals based out of Canada, they were not responding or they were deleting their emails. That is usually a no-no, which is why I'm saying there could be a money laundering angle. Not only that, there is also, it is the SECI, the government concern, that had promised that it will be able to buy at a certain price, fixed price, based on which the original thing was done. They had been getting these letters of assurance from 5 states, right? It was Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Odisha, Chhattisgarh, and I'm forgetting one more state. It doesn't matter. But all these states are not BJP ruled states. In other words, there is another angle for the Modi government to probe from their side as to what exactly happened. Why would the state governments back out of a commitment to buy? If the price was too high, then they could have not even signed up for it. So there is something there that is, that is escaping the eye. We have to wait and see how that plays out. And I haven't heard anything from the Modi government on this today, whether they are going to probe how this SECI got caught like this, and that's something that is that should be keenly watched. Also, news is coming that Kenya has cancelled one contract of the Adani Group, and that Sri Lanka also is reviewing a wind energy a contract that they had given to Adani. Look, this is where, when you grow up and you are big, you are going to get hits like this. How Adani weathers these storms and comes out is something that you have to wait and see. And it's all up to him. I don't have any idea. I have not looked at their books, and I'm not a chartered accountant to tell you that, yeah, I have looked at the books and they are good. I don't have that kind of expertise. All it is right now he has tried to stop the bloodshed by trying to stop the bond issue, and that to some extent will prevent people. See, in Hindenburg, many people allege that after the report came, the stock took a hit. Many foreign investors came in and picked up Adani stock on the cheap, and that the same thing is being played over again this time around. Well, there is credence to that. You have to make sure that you don't fall for such things. Now, I promised you what happened in case of Trump. Remember that Trump is a builder. Some say that he was born with a silver spoon in his mouth, because his father also was a fairly successful builder in New York City, and he had built many buildings, living condominiums, complexes, and things like that. And that when Donald Trump, the current president-elect, started out in business, his father had given him some starting money and said, go play with this thing. And Donald Trump, after that, because of his genius, he turned this thing into a multi-million-dollar enterprise. In fact, there are many companies under the Trump brand. What happened about 40 years ago was Trump was in a bit of a pickle. Many of his projects were not coming off. Things were under loss, and the banks wanted to foreclose on him. He owed the banks, I think, close to $1 billion. I think it was I'm not exactly sure which year it was. It probably may have been 20, 30 years ago. Now, at this point of time, they said, okay, because Trump was weathering one storm after the other and the other, and people are saying, okay, this time he is done and dusted. The banks are not going to forgive him for all his loans, that they are going to foreclose on him. You know what happened? One night, he he slept on the problems. Next day morning, he called all his investors, his bank people, and he said, the people who wanted to close him out, he said, now, okay, so you get me out of the picture. Do you think you have any hope of recovering your money? It is my brand name that is launching all these things. In other words, you need me more than I need you. And the banks backed off. And Trump, I think he may have done one Chapter 11. I'm not 100% sure. In one enterprise, he may have done a Chapter 11. I'm not 100% sure. But he did come out of it, and he continued to grow. Although many say that Trump is a very difficult businessman to deal with. There have been some allegations about how he bought some land on the cheap in Scotland, and that he has not compensated the people who sold their land. Lots of allegations like this. Okay. What I'm trying to say is, if you are in the big league, expect blows. It's how you receive them and how you punch back that defines what a company is. In my opinion, Adani has solid business foundations. However, how the money is being managed is a different aspect altogether. Now, Ambani grew by going to the masses, by keeping on doing public offerings. This is, I'm talking about Dhirubhai Ambani. And Mukesh Ambani has built on top of that. I'm sorry, not Mukesh. What's the other Ambani? Mukesh is the right one, right? The one who's successful. Anyway, Mukesh Ambani has done a good job, but his brother hasn't been that successful. Kishore Chabria, stop it. I don't know why you keep on saying that. You want me to do what? You want me to cry? Why? I have no stock. I have no skin in the game. All I'm telling you is understand that these are the games that big boys play. So whatever it is, we have at a point now where Adani has to find out how they are going to do business across the world. They have some prestigious contract, like for example in Israel, they have some port authority. I think Haifa is a big port in Israel, and I think they are going to get the management of that. So there is going to be, Anil Ambani is the one who didn't succeed. Mukesh did succeed. Thanks for that. So they are going to have some repercussions like this, but I would be curious to know how the Modi government acts, because I smell something from the Indian side, how this was all done. Why did the government organization 𝗣𝚑𝐶I let itself to be allowed down the garden path by state government utilities? 𝙤𝙤𝙤𝘀𝘀, Andhra Pradesh. Andhra Pradesh has 3 utilities, if I remember correctly. They are named in that indictment. How did they allow themselves to be fooled into thinking that they would be able to get so much per unit electricity, based on which they underwrote that? So this is the problem that needs to be probed. And why is it that these are all non-BJP governments? Why is BJP being more financially more conscious about this? So I would turn this thing around completely. People are saying, oh, there's going to be noise, there'll be walkout in the parliament. What knockout? You turn this thing to your advantage. The facts say the same thing. Government should order a probe into this whole thing and look at all the states that are participating in it. It's actually more problem for the India Alliance than for the NDA, in my opinion. Anyway, so all this is interesting stuff. You can say, yes, Soros is at work, but that is par for the course, gentlemen and ladies. This is what happens when you grow up. People are not going to just like that take things lying down. Adani also is doing some project with Chinese. So you can't say one country hates him, then therefore they are trying to peg him down. There is no such thing. If you are caught with your hand in the cookie jar, there are consequences. If they took money from US investors and this bribe has been established beyond doubt, so this is just an indictment. Adani will have his day in court. He'll have to plead his case. He'll have to find out what happened. And also, independent of this, the Indian government can investigate how this happened, so that in future, you don't have such problems. You need to have a clean stock market. You need to have a good enforcement mechanism, which brings me back to my favorite topic. stock markets, price discovery, how good is a job SEBI doing. All these things come into play. So that's where things stand now. I would like to stop here and see if there are any questions. Otherwise, we can sign off on this. Hang on a second. Let's stay on. Yeah, Mukesh is successful, Anil is not. Bihar has other government. So in Bihar, it is Mr. Nitish Kumar. Well, that is interesting. So whatever it is, something everybody got together and promised moon and earth to this 𝗣𝗍𝐶I, which is a government-owned corporation. And then once the thing went through, they said, "Oops, it's too high. We have other alternate sources. We don't want to buy electricity from you at this price." This is the crux of the problem. We'll see how this plays out. Okay, any questions? Shadows wants to know, can Tulsi do something after getting into power? About Adani? No. This is Tulsi is a national intelligence gathering. It's a different pot of kettle. It's something else that she is going to be doing. There is no connection there between that and this. And these kinds of things happen all the time. Like I said, I told you about the story of Donald Trump. These things happen all the time. It's a sign that you have come of age. In fact, if you go back to Howard Hughes, he was into movies, he was into aerospace, Boeing. I mean, you can look at the name of the movie is called Aviator. Take a look at that. See how much others took pot shots at him and tried to derail him. In fact, he did get derailed a little bit. So these things are par for the course. It's actually a sign that Adani is now serious enough for conglomerates to take notice, and they are going to come after you. You just have to have your books in good order. That's all it is. Srinivas says Walmart did the same in India, but no case against for them. Well, Srinivas, I have been telling you about the Indian court system as well as India's financial system, that it leaves a lot to be desired. What can I say? I mean, it takes time. Next one. Ranjan Oberoi wants to know, how will it be proved that money paid to various governments? They are claiming that they have voice samples. So, see, this is the other thing about this whole case. In the indictment, they are saying they have voice samples of communications between various individuals. In fact, there is one, I think Andhra Pradesh, if I remember correctly, government official also not named, but mentioned as somebody who has affirmed it. This is something. If you are able to tap in on phones, what will happen? Usually there'll be persons of interest, right? First Gautam Adani, maybe Sagar Adani, maybe, and then as this web starts spreading, they'll start saying who all are they talking about in this particular case, and then all those people start getting tapped. It's possible that they may be even able to go back. For all this stuff, I expect that the U.S. Attorney's Office of Eastern District of New York would have got approval from a magistrate to be able to tap into all these conversations. Something should have been. They can't just like that do it. It's not admissible in a court of law unless magistrate approves it. This is my understanding of the law. If New York state law is different, I can't vouch for it. What is the jurisdiction of US? Adani is not listed or operate. No, it is listed. That is the whole problem, my friend. I don't know what is the 𝗤𝙜 𝗔𝙜. I don't know what it. I am trying to read Gujarati. I think it is Gujarati. I'm not 100% sure. Financial services. What is jurisdiction of US? This is a US based company. That's why the whole thing has come. They are not talking about any Indian based companies of Adani. It's a US based company. That is the one that is in question. Next. Mohit Karnik wants to know, we need to find ways to ruin the US economy. No, it is doing it to itself. You don't have to do anything, Mohit. US is already doing it to itself. It is sticking it to itself. There is a major reset coming. I don't know when, though. Next one, please. What I have is Manhattan in the background, and this is the city where all the action is going on right now. Murali Krishna Godepalli, how can a private agency of US be allowed to probe in India? They are not probing in India, Murali Krishna. They are just monitoring the activity for this one particular investment that came in from the United States. Ashish Agarwal, is Congress behind this propaganda against Adani in US? No, actually, if anything, Congress is indicted. Chhattisgarh was Congress government at that time this thing happened. So Congress is in trouble, if you ask me. Sujata Reddy wants to know, is this the right time to invest in Adani Group as stocks are down now? Sujata ji, I have no idea. I'm not a stockbroker. Hare Krishna. Okay, Hare Krishna is a name, the Gujarati name. I'm not a stockbroker. I would not give you any stock advice. You need to do your homework. You need to find out what kind of an appetite you have for risk, and then make your decisions. I'm sorry, I cannot tell you if it is a good time to buy or not. Chetput Padmanabhan Ganesh wants to know, sir, is it bribe case or is it BJP or non-BJP? It's a big crime. What CBI, ED, CBI, we're all doing. Look, don't get confused here. This is not a crime committed in the India shores. It is something that happened in the United States. There are 5 counts of fraud. Okay, securities fraud. Then you have to go back to my previous video, which I did with Ramesh Swami. Ramesh read out the 5 charges. The critical one there is that it is a violation of business practices of US, wherein US company cannot bribe another country's official to get a contract. This is against the law. The $250 million bribe is one of the things that is very, very severe in its consequences. Also, looks like when questions were asked to some of the investors based out of Canada, these people either A, deleted their emails, or B, tried to fudge things or not answer the US authorities. So that could be another problem. So these are all some of the things that are there. Right now, as far as India is concerned, if Modi government orders a probe, it will be the opposition that will start screaming, no, 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 because all the states that are involved in this, they're all opposition run. Next one. Ramesh Channa Reddy wants to know, how can US trace the payments made using shell companies to bribe? Oh, US has a lot of software, Ramesh. There is a software company called Palantir, which gives you specific tools to track all these things through shell companies closing and opening and all that stuff. Palantir's whole software is just that. It's not that hard. If you have the software and if you have the money, you can do it very easily. Next one. Sarvesha Samaga wants to know, what about Enron's blunders? Why are we comparing 2 different things? We just have to stay on this one particular topic. Shyam Jandhyala, won't Adani Green have arm's length agreement with Adani US, which would put the entire thing out of US? No. Think of it this way. I am sitting in US and I am investing in a company in India, which has promised me so much in return, because there was so many bonds. It said that when you're raising the money, that it would yield about $12 billion in revenue over a period of 5 years. I have to go back and look at the notes. So this was the kind of promises made. And then once the money came in, 𝗖𝙗𝘃 said, oops, we will not be able to sell energy at this price. See, that is where the fraud part comes in. It's got nothing to do with Adani Green is a company that is based in India. That relationship as to whether Adani Green had anything to do with this is not. The indictment says that it is Adani which signed the deal with 𝗖𝙗𝘃. Okay. See, they need to find out who was involved, and they establish that by saying that, look, Adani is the one that signed this deal, and therefore we are indicting Adani. And a lot of things followed. This is something that happened between 2020 and 2024. So much activity has happened, and things came to an abrupt halt in June 2024, especially as far as Andhra Pradesh state is concerned. You do the guesswork. Why? Look, not everybody is telling everything they know. You have to wait for some time. I think it is a golden opportunity for the Modi government to clean up some of this mess that has happened from Indian side, and that would actually make the foreign investors more confident about investing in India. That is the bigger challenge. Would FDI go away saying that, oops, this is also big muck? Next. Gopakumar wants to know, how will we accept such opinions which are politically motivated? Just look at the timing. You are just commenting without taking these things. Actually, Gopakumar, if it was politically motivated, And if it was timing, they could have released this indictment 3 days before the Maharashtra elections, right? I'm asking you a counter question. They could have they could have released these things 3 days ago. The research has been going on for 4 years. So why did they not do it? In that case, the Maharashtra elections could have gone in a different way. I don't want to make jump to conclusions at this point of time. Rudran wants to know, Sambit Patra has given a press conference. Hope you saw. What did he say? I did not see it. What did he say? Sumit Makkar wants to know, Tamil Nadu CM was recently in New York. Was he participating in the investigation? I don't think so. I think he was here to raise some funds. Look, I have been having my doubts as to whether the money that is being raised as foreign contracts for state development, which is really clean money or funny money. Funny money is where money comes in through various Hawala organizations into the United States, and then it gets round trip back into India. So it's essentially bribes coming back as dollars that basically you have laundered from rupees to dollars, right? So I have been having those doubts. Let's see what Sambit Patra says. BJP hits back at Rahul Gandhi and Adani Road, says Congress trying to tank market to damage Indian economy. Spokesperson Sambit Patra pointed out that the Adani Group has invested in several states run by the opposition and dared the Congress to take the matter to court. Yes, I have been saying this too. So, look, still onion layers are being peeled. And what we have now, we have explained that to you. There will be more fallout. Some more countries will fall out. But what are the options for those countries? If the terms of the deal are reasonable, and if the whole thing is on a solid foundation, I think they will review and continue. In my opinion, it is a course correction for the Adani Group, and they just need to make sure that they have more sound business practices in terms of raising money. I think Indian stock market is huge. I don't know why they decided to raise funds in United States. They don't need to. That's why I'm saying this. But then if they had not, then all these things would not have surfaced. In India, there's a lot of insider trading. It just goes unchecked. My 2 cents. Okay, that's all we have. Thanks for watching. We'll be again coming back with Sumit Peer in Hindi. We're going to be talking about our favorite neighbor, Pakistan, Russia's moves, counter moves on Ukraine. That stuff is also going to be discussed. So please do join us back again. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.